welcome to the DorkiDorki podcast. I'm Warmal.
I'm Kat.
So the first thing you may have noticed is this is not a movie review.
No, it is not.
You can tell us both by the fact that it's called a podcast and the graphic on the video has changed.
Yeah, he did a really good job with it. I really like it.
It's not really much. For the movie one, I just wanted to have the star and spotlight to kind of represent movie, and then this one's just microphone for us talking.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty representative. I was actually thinking microphone when you were like, should I make a different one for our podcast? I was like, I hope he puts a microphone. And then it's like you read my mind because you were like, hey, how about this image? And I was like,
Well, I don't really know what else you would put there instead.
I don't know, headset?
I guess, but
Microphone's more representative of
it's
like
more about
radio
talking.
shows and shit.
Yeah, it's more about talking.
Yeah.
And recording.
So, we got a new game. What was it this week?
Yeah, we got it on
Wednesday?
Tuesday.
What?
When we went to see Mama.
Oh, that's right. When we went to go see Mama, we bought Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's a pretty basic JRPG game. Hey, look, we're talking about games finally.
I know, games are a big love affair.
Yeah, so it's created by a few companies. The biggest thing, though, that sold us on it was that it was the entire art style and direction is from Studio Ghibli.
Which actually is a great story to tell because that's what brought us together, is Howl's Moving Castle from Studio Ghibli.
And we won't go into that on this right now.
No, but it's a nice little fact that I'm going to share because I like it.
But yeah, so we saw the picture and we're like, hey, that kind of looks like how Miyazaki's work. And then we went up to the poster and it's like, holy crap, it totally is his work. Or at least Studio Ghibli. It didn't say his name anywhere on the poster or in the game, so it might just be the company, not him directly.
Maybe. I really don't care. The game's fucking awesome. The art style is freaking amazing. So if he was involved, that's like triple awesome.
Yeah, it really is, and it just looks great. As we're playing it, it's just like, this never stops looking awesome.
Like, there's a movie sequence, almost, of like the intros and different cutscenes, and then sometimes it'll cut back into like your game play, but still kind of a cutscene. I don't even care which one we're doing because they both look super fantastic.
There was the odd time when they do a very short, like 30-second infill animation, which is odd. At that point, you might as well have just stayed in the 3D models. But then again, it was when Esther goes and hugs Oliver, so perhaps they couldn't. I don't see why they couldn't put that in the 3D model.
I don't know either, but it was weird because it cut to that cutscene of her going up to him and like hugging him or whatever, and it's like, oh, 30-second cutscene here, guys, and then back to 3D play.
Yeah, how about since our little description here doesn't really say much about it, why don't you tell us what it's about?
Why do I have to do it?
Because you've played a lot more than I have.
I have. I'm way into the game, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So the story is about this boy named Oliver, and his mom dies unexpectedly in the game, and he not really wishes, he wants her back, and so his wish is kind of granted because his stuffed toy turns into a fairy. And this fairy is not your typical fairy. Like, if you guys are imagining a little tiny fairy with cute little wings and a little wand, yeah, that's in the game. That's not this fairy. No. This fairy is chubby and has a lantern for a nose. It's super cute, but I'm like, what the fuck? So he goes on this magical adventure in this other world where everyone has, like, a doppelganger, almost. So, like, his mom in that world is this great sage who has all these powers, but has been trapped. So he goes into this world to find this counterpart of his mom to save her, and to save their world from this white witch and a bad magician named Sadar? That's the name? Yeah.
Shadar.
Shadar? There you go.
Sha, not Sa.
Sa? Shh. Nah. Don't correct me. It's not nice.
Hey, you're the one that's been playing it more. I just watched you for hours last night.
I couldn't help it. I really get into the game, but you know I'm a perfectionist.
You are.
So.
It was getting ridiculous how long you were stuck in that desert.
Yeah, so I'm a perfectionist, and you have little side quests in this game, and I have to finish every freaking quest. I actually got upset last night. I was so upset because I thought I'd missed some quests. Turns out that I was in the right direction and had to just wait.
And I told you the whole time that you were
I know you
totally.
did.
I even said if you did miss something, it's not like the game's never going to let you go back there.
But the thing is, I was so upset because I was like, I have to complete everything before I move on with my life.
It's a JRPG.
Okay, you know I love those, okay? Like, I played Tales of Symphonia. I played Tales of Graces. Well, a little bit, not all the way. But I love those games. I love doing that shit. I'm just a perfectionist. I'm OCD. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it, but still, like, you've played all those, you should know, hey, I'm eventually going to come back here.
Okay, but in my mindset, I'm like, I have to do this now or I'll never come back to it. And that's what I do. Is if, like, in Tales of Symphonia, is there's a little mini quest. I can't finish it unless I do it right then, right there, because I'll never go back to it.
But how many times in Tales of Graces F did we go between that forest and that town before it's like, you know what? Let's go and do this other thing now. We were back in that town, must have been 4 times.
Okay, I agree, okay? I'm just anal about certain things. Sometimes I do give up. This game, I'm determined. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna like do everything I can in it. Like when they're like giving me this new power, like I got the third companion of ours, the Swain or whatever his name is, and he can open the green chests. I'm like, I've seen green chests everywhere, so I went all the way back to the first fucking level to get all the green chests along the way. So I went from the new land, which is all across the ocean, back to where we started. Like, I crossed deserts, I crossed the, like, woods, I went to old Father Oak and been like, I've done all this shit, man, like, give me some shit. So he gave
Did
me
you
a
get a
badge.
cutscene going back there? Did you get a cutscene or anything for going back to him?
No, you don't really get a cutscene. He's just like, oh, you're back, tell me about your travels. Then you tell him shit, he tells a little comment, and then he gives you stuff, and then you're like, okay, I'm done.
That kind of sucks. I wish it was a little more.
Because he's a weird looking tree.
Well, he's like the whole time, he's like, please come back and tell me about your travels. And we're like, yes, we will. And then, or I guess it'll probably be a story thing.
Maybe. Because I would bet at the end he's like, oh, you have come back to me. Tell me about your travels.
But, like, you know, I play a lot differently where I want to complete it, but I know I won't 100% it, so I'll do what I can. And I am totally able to be like, I know I'm coming back here later. I'll wait till I come back here later for something.
That's your style. My style is to finish it. Excuse me. Like, I have to finish everything. And it's doing me well so far. Like, look at all the money and experience I have.
Yeah, the one thing was you got a lot of experience trying to catch that banana.
Oh my god, okay, guys. Like, there was one quest where it was like, get me this thing, banana creature. And I had to fight, like, I don't know how many. It must have been 30 of those things to catch one. Like, they always died, and I was, like, almost crying at the end. Like, Warmal here was like, can we give up on this yet? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna die doing this. Like, I'm not giving up.
You didn't give up, and it did turn out in the end, but it was so late, I was so tired, and I'm just like, I want to see what comes after this desert, because I'm not even at the desert yet in my playthrough,
No.
so it's going to be hard for me, because you know how much I dislike repeating stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't restart a game solely because I don't want to go through the tutorial. I don't want to be told, again, this is how you play the game.
I always forget about tutorials when I restart. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that.
It doesn't take me long to get back into a game. Like, I'll eventually like figure out the controls and be right back in the swing of it.
Mm-hmm.
So like once I'm restarting a game again and it's like push this button to do this, push this button to do this, I'm like, I know. Can I please not do this and go straight to what I want to play?
That's what I'd really like is if they could give you like skip tutorial and I'd be like, yeah, cool, get me
in that aspect. Mario is the best game ever made. I never have to be told anything.
No, not at all.
No, you don't, because you just start the game and it's like, here you go. Hope you know the controls. Hope you didn't get some used version and didn't come with a game manual. So you should know. A is to jump, B is to run.
Oh, yeah, like that one guy on Rooster Teeth, the Gauntlet. You can run in Mario?
Yeah, that was
That was great.
like I remember when I found that out, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't know I could hold this button and just run, and now I can't play without running. It's just too slow.
Do you remember the first time we played New Super Mario Bros on the Wii, and you were like, you know you can run, right? I'm like, shit, fuck, what button is it? And you're like,
One,
it's B. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, fuck.
it's insane. But like now I can't not be running, and it probably messes me up more often
Yeah,
than
I
not.
die
But
more often.
I can't be going so slow. Like if you're not running in Mario, it is painstakingly slow, and I feel like that also messes me up. So there's no medium. I must be running.
Hopefully, running's the better choice.
Well, yeah, because I really enjoy the speed aspect of games. Like I love when games like really flow together and you can actually run. Like when you're running through Mario, like if you're just not even like trying to do anything in level, if you're just trying to go from start to finish and you're just like jumping and hitting stuff and like not almost flawlessly, it's just like this is a great experience.
You're more of the player where it's like, give me the story and the action, and anything that's on the side, I'll do some other time.
Yeah, well, one thing that stopped me in Skyrim was just well, actually the one thing that stopped me in Skyrim was dying and going back past the dragon fight, and I'm like, no. And then I never got back to it. Like if I go, I could easily get back to it because it's a lot of fun, but like yeah, that game is so full of side quests. It's just I don't even know what's main story and what's stuff I don't have to bother with and anything. That game, I think
I don't think that game was made for you.
it wasn't made for me, but it was so much fun to play, and it just felt really like I'm in control.
I guess that would be more of my kind of game because I'd be like, okay, well, I have to do all of these things. Hopefully, I don't run past anything.
I guarantee you would not be able to play it.
No?
No, because of the one fact that you can get missions before you're strong enough to do them. Like
Oh, yeah, that would bug the shit out.
not even like before you're strong enough, like insanely. Like right away you can join the companions in like one of the first towns you go to or the second town, and their first mission after you do all their tutorial story stuff is, "Hey, there's vampires. Could you kind of handle those?" And you're like, "Sure, I guess." Then you go there and die instantly. And I'm like, when am I even going to be strong enough to do this? Why is this the first thing? Like, I never went back to that. I'm like, I look at the missions I've done. I'm like, well, I only have 3 left. I got the main story, this other side quest, and that vampire thing. Like 5 hours later, more than 5 hours, that game sucks the time out of you because it is that immersive and amazing. And you're just traveling, and it's like, I want to walk the whole way because it's fun and I can kill random things. But at the same time is I'm actually walking this whole way. Why am I doing this to myself?
So then, what do you think of Nino Kuni then?
It's a happy medium because it pulls you into a world map that you run around in that is pretty classic for
It feels really
RPGs.
big.
It does feel really big and you kind of run slow, but then if you look at your map, it's like it's not that far away and it
No,
doesn't take long to get there.
like when I told you I did that whole thing from the new place I'm in, like Hemlin, I think it's called, all the way back to like Ding Dong Bell Dell. Like that took me not even 5 minutes. It
No, it's
did
not that
not
long.
take me long, and that's with avoiding monsters. I avoided except for maybe 2 sets of monsters, and that's it. So it's a short map, but it feels really big when you're there.
And it helps too that like it's just so good to look at that you're not really focused on
Yeah.
that, and it hides well that the map is kind of a small but not small
Yeah.
because of just, and we were talking about this actually, what really helped was when you're in the town and you look at the map, it's like, oh, I don't really have that big of an area in the city that I'm even in. But
But
then
the
when
way
you,
they do the turns and the size of the buildings and your camera angle, you feel like you're in like a big city.
yeah, you do. And like the fact that there's people everywhere, like if you count, it's like, oh, there's not that many people. But the way they have the people interacting and moving around, it's just like, it feels like, oh, there's a bunch, this city is alive with,
Yeah,
like,
it feels amazing.
it does.
It's a great game.
It is. What I really enjoy about it is how magic based it is, because a lot of games in this style have you be like a warrior kind of person,
Yeah,
or you
like
have a giant sword or something like that, and you're very physically oriented in the game. This one's the exact opposite, where it's a lot of magic based because you're a wizard, and it fits the fantasy a lot better and really matches their style because all their movies, well, not all their movies, but a lot of them are fantasy based, or at least
Have some fantasy aspect. Like Whisper to the Heart, that was like not magical at all. This girl didn't have any magical powers, but it felt so magical in itself because of her stories.
well, my first introduction to Studio Ghibli was Spirited Away. I saw the trailer for it, and I think it got like awards in Canada, and I'm like, I really want to see this movie. And it never came to our theater. Not because our theater sucks. At the time, it got every movie that came in.
Yeah.
It was just because of the style movie it was. It wasn't a hugely popular movie.
I find that our theater doesn't get a lot of the movies that I would like to see. Like, we have never had a Tyler Perry movie in the theater in our town. Ever. Like, not a single one.
That's a lie now.
But produced and directed. Never had one of his. None of the Medeas. Temptation, the new one he's made, will probably not come to town.
I think that one will.
Maybe that one, but I highly doubt it. The only one that he's been in that has actually come was the Alex Cross ones. Well, the one. That's the only time I've seen him in our theater.
And it was a good movie.
Yeah. Remember how upset you were when Arrietty didn't come to the theater?
Oh yeah, and they even had the posters.
Yes.
And
That was
I realized that the problem is that the theater doesn't get to choose which movies come. Like I can't blame the manager at our theater. It's not their choice. It's a big company. The company decides. But I mean, like, I wish they didn't show posters and then not have it. I feel that if the company sends the poster to the individual theater, they should then be obligated to also show the movie.
Yeah, because like there's been times where I've seen a poster and then it doesn't come, and I'm like, now I have to wait like what, a year to see your movie because now I have to wait for it to be on DVD.
And it works really well too because you, as soon as the poster's not there anymore, you don't notice it's gone.
No.
Because you only notice what posters are there when you're looking. Like I could tell you a couple posters that were there on Tuesday, but I mean like if they weren't there when we go again this upcoming week, I wouldn't be like, oh hey, that poster's gone. I'd be like, oh look, a new poster.
I guess so. It just upsets me when I'm like, this movie is awesome, like I love it, it's my favorite. Hey guys, guess what? You don't get it.
There was a couple like that, and
yeah.
I thought that's what happened with
Silver Linings?
No. Well, my dad said like exactly what happened was that they'd get an early release to be nominated for the upcoming awards and then be fully released. But hey, it was worth the wait.
It was a great movie to see. And I had read the book in what, a day?
Yeah, we were on a drive, so it really helped. Like when I told people that you read in a day, they were like, "Oh, it must have been a short book." And I'm like, "Nah, I was driving for 3 hours and she was in the side seating. She was on the side reading, so she just had a lot of time to read."
Okay, but that's the thing is some people would be like, because I think that book's around 250 pages, even more maybe, and certain people would be like, you read that book in a day. Like I've always gotten that look. It's like, you did what?
Oh yeah, there's tons of books. Like I'm looking at your shelf here, and it's like, I'm sure there's a lot of these. Maybe not this one. There's a lot of these that you could probably read in a day, and I'd be like, "What?"
Actually, I can disprove that one. The one he just pointed to is one of the Prince Clockwork books, or the instruments. What are they called? Mortal
Clockwork Prince.
The Mortal Instruments. I actually read the first one in I think a day and a half.
But that's not saying much because I'm like looking at these two beside each other, and this one's like, the one I pointed to is about 2 times the size of the other.
Okay, but the top one up there, you see, that's the book I read. It's about the I don't know. Okay, so what other? Back on subject.
Yeah. Well, since I'm kind of done with talking about Ni no Kuni.
I will never be done talking about that game. Like, the minute we're done, I'm going to be like, if you're not playing Ni no Kuni, I'm playing it.
Well, I'll probably be messing with our audio, so you'll be playing it.
Awesome.
You recently read a book?
I did. I got the book Warm Bodies.
Because of?
The movie that's coming out on February 1st, which I hope our theater would decide to partake in. And it was a great book. I freaking loved it. There was nothing I would complain about it except how short it was. And it seemed like all the events that happened seemed to happen in like a span of a week, which is really odd. But it was a great story, and it was a different take on zombies, which was interesting.
Is it really odd that it takes place during a week for a single book to take place during a week?
For what all happens, I would say yeah, because we go from him being kind of almost a mindless zombie to being alive in a span of a week.
Couldn't you say though that it's kind of a play on how fast he turned into a zombie? Like, I don't know how
guess
fast
so.
that is, but I mean, like, if you think about it being synonymous with these people get turned into zombies pretty quickly. Like, every story is a little different on how long, and it varies from person to person every time, but I mean, like, if you think about him turning to a zombie in a matter of a couple hours, tops,
Yeah.
then to be, like, doing a reverse being a week, it's not that different or obtuse.
I guess so. I just wish the book was longer. I'm hoping he'll make another one because the character's best friends, there's Zombie R and he has his best friend M.
Yeah, I love that part of the trailer.
Yeah, that's awesome. He actually can speak a bit in the book. And then Julie has her friend Nora. Nora and M at the end of the book are like, hi, and he's like, you're the prettiest girl I ever seen. And I'm like, are those two gonna get together or not? Like that, I want him to write another book. I want to see what happens during this time in their lives. Like, I want to see what happens.
Well, we saw the trailer last month,
I think
I want to say. Yeah, about last month, and we saw it, or heard of it and looked it up, and we were blown away by it. Like, the idea of it is so different for a zombie movie, and I think that works really well with, excuse me, works really well with how different zombies are looked at now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before it was a long time ago, like, we just watched Dawn of the Dead, and that's a very different zombie from, let's say, Zombieland, where Zombieland was extremely comedy based, much about relationships, not about survival as much as we're traveling and this is our world now, this is what we live with. Whereas most zombie movies are very much just the span of a little bit, like maybe a day, and them trying to survive that day. But when I watched Warm Bodies trailer, I was just like, this is a whole new take on the zombie franchise.
It is, because you actually have two classifications of zombies in this. Technically, I don't count the second one as zombies. I count them more as a demonic thing.
The bonies?
The bonies, yes. Like, you have your normal zombie, like, they have their flesh, but they're just paler, and maybe there's a part of them missing. That's about it. And then you have the bonies, which are just bones. Like, they have no innards.
Skeletons.
They're skeletons, pretty much. They're black skeletons, which is very represented in this book, because at one point you can see why the bonies are much darker and much more evil. So, it's...
Well, just in the trailer I saw.
Yeah.
Obviously, since we're doing this now, I'm talking about it with a lot of my friends, and on Thursday night, I was talking to them and saying what movies we're looking forward to going to review and to talk about, and I mentioned Warm Bodies, and I had to stop myself from punching that girl in the face, the one that I don't like at all because of things that we will not talk about on here just in case. I said Warm Bodies, and she's just like, that looks stupid, and I just ignored her. It took all my willpower to not turn and punch her in the face.
So we're talking about the one that has caused problems, is what you're saying. Okay.
That I am amazed that anyone talks to her. But yeah, like, she said that, I'm just like, ignore it. Don't acknowledge her existence, because that's what I basically do now, is I ignore her existence whatsoever.
I've never met this girl, but from the stories I've heard and what people have said, I seriously wouldn't put up with that. With my personality, I personally would be like, bitch, if you do not shut the hell up, I'm going to so pull out all your hair and stuff it down your throat. Because, like, I can't stand it. Some people are just mean to the bone, and that bugs me. If you're being mean for no reason, and you're just being a terrible person, I'm gonna not like you. I'm sorry. That's just me.
Here we are talking about her.
Okay, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, let it go. She doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I talk about more, and they're all excited. When I said we'll probably be doing like requests and that, I don't want to use a real name. I guess we've used real names before.
Just, I don't know, make up a synonym.
Wow, I almost used another person's real name instead. That is amazing. No, how about we go with Lessie? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Go on.
Okay, well, she was on her computer. She's like, how about you guys do Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus? Or whatever, one of those weird horror movies.
Yeah.
Where I've seen one at Walmart, and then I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. And then Basie just shouted, that's on Netflix? I'm like, I think it is. And it was just, yeah, I'm like, we probably won't do that just because of how stupid it looks. If someone wants us to, I'm sure we would. I mean, I have no problem going and watching a stupid movie to talk about it. But there's no way I'd want to watch that normally.
But that's the thing, is that this is, people requesting you to watch certain things is to try and just to broaden your horizons. So maybe like it looks stupid to you now, but if you watched it and you were like, oh, that was actually kind of cool, you know, something like that.
That's what I thought Rubber would be like, but no. I mean, like when we saw the trailer on the Shrine, it's just like, I guess a killer tire is a neat idea. Then you watch the first 20 minutes, and it's nothing you expect, and it's hilariously awesome just for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, I don't think I need to watch anymore. This alone was the greatest moment I'm sure this movie has.
They didn't need to do any more, just the first 20 minutes.
It could have been a nice little short film about the outlook of movies themselves.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that from a movie about a killer tire.
No, it was pretty awesome. So you've started playing a new game that you've actually been looking at for a while because of Let's Play?
Yeah, well, not a Let's Play of another podcast and person on the internet. But yeah, it's been out for quite a while actually because it just got its sequel released last month.
Okay.
The game I'm talking about is 999, 9 hours, 9 person, 9 doors. Came out for the DS. I'm not quite sure when, but it's a neat puzzle game. It's borderline novel. It's almost a book itself that you almost are always reading. It's not very often when I'm not reading text, but the game is a puzzle-based game. The premise of the game is that it's a mystery. You wake up on this ship and you're stuck in a room and there's a number 5 on the door. You yourself are kind of remembering things as they happen, and you remember that you got to your dorm room and then closed the window that was open, and you see the reflection of yourself, and behind you is a man in a gas mask, and he welcomes you and says you're going to join part in the nonary game, and then you black out from a smoke bomb of some sort, and you wake up in this room on a ship. And basically the way it works is there are 9 doors throughout the ship, each numbered 1 to 9, and to get through them you use the 9 people as number values themselves. So you have Ace, who's 1, and then upwards to 9. Ace, Snake, Santa, Clover, yourself, June, Lotus, and then 7 and the 9th man. And so to go through the door, you need 3 to 5 people whose numbers equal that through a digital route. So to get through door number 5, let's say, you would use number 7, number 6, which then equals 13, and then use 1, which equals 14. Since that's a 2-digit number, you add those digits together, you get 5. So they are told that they can get out of this ship if they find the exit. Look for door marked 9.
So, like not like let's say I'm number 8 and there's an 8 door. I can't go by myself, right?
No, you have to have 3 to 5 people. And the reason by this is, first of all, the door won't activate it because you need to all register for the door. The other reason is that they have all swallowed bombs. Most likely not like by accident where it's like, oops, I just swallowed a bomb. That sucks. It's more along the lines of they were just informed that odds are they were implanted with this bomb, and there's no way to get out because by the time they got the message, it's probably in their intestines.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way to get that out. If they were to try and go through the door by themselves, the bomb will explode. If they somehow break any of the rules whatsoever, the bomb will explode and they'll die. So yeah, that's kind of premise of the game. Now here's the interesting part though is there's 9 people.
Right.
The 9th door is obviously going to be the end.
Right.
Only 3 to 5 people are allowed through the door.
Right.
If they don't do that, they die.
Right.
So right off the bat, you know they can't all make it.
Right.
At least 4 people
Have to be.
have to die
Right.
or be left behind.
Right.
So throughout the game, I haven't gotten very far. At least I don't think I've gotten very far.
You're not really sure though.
No, because I never know how long it's going to be. Because I've gone through. I'm into my 3rd door, but you come across multiple doors at once.
Yeah.
You first come across 4 and 5, then 3, 7, and 8, and now we just found 1, 2, and 6. And if anyone was able to put those numbers in their head there, the only one we're missing is 9. So I haven't gone through all the doors. I could have. At any moment you can choose which door to go through. Your own path determines what happens and who you go with. For how much it's like a teamwork thing, because it's a game, it's all centered around you. It really is. When you're doing the puzzles in the rooms, everyone kind of just takes a back seat and it's up to you to solve everything by yourself.
It's like, well, we don't want to like do anything too much, so
It's almost like they know you love puzzles so much. It's just like, yeah, you go ahead. But it's cool actually if you really are stuck on a puzzle,
mm-hmm.
which I did. I got pretty stuck, and after I found out the answer, I was like, oh, of course. But at the same time, it was really tough. If you search things multiple times that are puzzle related, eventually the clues that your teammates give you become more and more clear.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, hey, you're supposed to do this. And you're like, oh, of course, how did I not figure that out? But until that happens, you're like, how do I do this? What am I missing? And one time I was running around an entire room looking for another object because I needed to put together a mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, oh yeah, it starts with the head and arm. I already have all the other pieces.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a cool game. Obviously the characters figure out pretty quickly that they aren't all going to make it and start trying to plot, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of sad, but at the same time you expect it. And I'm not sure what to expect because the company that made this game is a part of many other games that are mystery based, and you don't know what to expect from the characters because sometimes the asshole character is the really good, awesome person, and sometimes the person that pretends to be all nice is really plotting against you. And because I don't really do direct consequence, like there's 6 endings. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know if I'll be able to handle the tutorial to go through again,
Mm-hmm.
but I might just look up the endings. But you want to play it after.
I do. I think it's kind of interesting. And I like puzzle-based games as well.
Since I've already told you everything that's happened in my playthrough, though, are you going to maybe go through different doors and try out the other rooms?
That's the thing, is I won't know what I do until I do it. I don't know. That's my true answer. I really don't know if I'll do different things from you, or if I'll do this kind of similar, or what I'll do. So, I don't know.
What really got me to get the game was that it was in a nearby town. So my mom like, hey, I saw this online. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Get it for me. And it came in the next day. But what made me decide was there was a Let's Play that started of it, and I read it, and it was a lot of reading. I thought it was just because it was screenshot that it was like, oh, this is a lot of reading because of how it's presented. Nah, it's a
just
lot
a
of
lot of
reading.
reading.
But it's really interesting, and like the game I've mentioned before to you, when you talk to the people and everything, it kind of goes off on other tangents.
Yeah.
Like they start talking about things in the world and that, and it's just like, I don't see what this has anything to do with our situation, but I can't stop reading it. I don't want to skip it because it's like, it's really interesting. I doubt any of it is true, but it's just really neat. And then I found out it actually ties into what's going on. And I'm like, that was really neat because they like, uh, horseshoed it in where it's like, here, we're going to talk about this for a little while. And then eventually characters get pissed off. It's like, what's taking you guys so long? It's like, oh, sorry, we were just kind of talking about this random thing. We'll come back now. And then it's like, it all tied together. And I'm not even done yet. I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, the only problem with you is tutorials.
Tutorials, yes.
Yeah, having to do
That
those
first
again.
tutorial, because I saw the tutorial done on the Let's Play.
Yeah.
And then I went and played it, and I kind of forgot where everything was. I didn't forget the actual answer to get through the door, because it's pretty easy to figure out what numbers add together to get 5.
Right.
But even that, like the premise of it is that you really need to know this known to regame thing, and you don't really, it kind of gives you the options of who to go with.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't really have a consequence. It's more of your dialogue trees, because it gives you the option to choose different dialogue, and then you can kind of think ahead of time, oh wait, that doesn't really work. Or you could be like, no, I want to go through here, and everyone else is like, are you stupid? If you do that, the rest of us get screwed over. And it's like, right. Well then.
I'd totally be like, oh, I'm still going.
Well, like I said, I want to go through another playthrough specifically for one of those reasons.
Yeah.
I want to go through door number 3. I have to.
Just gotta see what happens.
But yeah, it's a cool game. I really suggest it. It's a lot of fun. I haven't finished it yet. I'll probably finish it soon.
Yeah.
And
We'll
then
see if I'm gonna hog Nina Kuni. So.
Yeah, and then I really have to get the sequel because the sequel seems a lot more driven on your actions of choosing the doors or how to get through them anyway. I haven't played it yet, so I don't want to butcher the explanation of it.
Yeah.
Friend or foe, that's all I say. If you ever watched that game show back in the day, that's a pretty good explanation of how that works.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, anything new and exciting?
Just kind of been focusing on my graduation.
Yeah. So, my best friend actually got me this book. And she's like, happy engagement. Here you go. This was for you last year for graduation. And it's nice seeing you again. Because she was on a really long trip. So she was gone for like a year.
And it ties in a bit to 999 since the boat you're on is the sister of the Titanic.
Yeah. What's it called? I'm not able to read it.
The front page says Titanic Love Stories, the true stories of 13 honeymoon couples who sailed on the Titanic.
Okay, my best friend here, if you are listening, like, what the hell? This book is so freaking depressing. Like, last night, like, I was crying, wasn't I, hon?
Yeah.
Like, I was crying, and I was like, this is so sad. All these people died. This isn't romantic. What have you done to me, best friendy? And I'm like,
well, here it says right on the back, Daniel urged Mary to go. I don't want to leave you, she cried. I'll stay with you so we can go together. It's all right, little girl, Daniel replied. You go. I will stay.
See, I read the back, and I was like, oh, fuck. Because
like,
then
that's
I finally
romantic.
got to their story because I looked up, okay, who's George and Mary? And I looked, because they give you this one page where it shows you all the couples in the book. I don't know how far in it is. And it'll show you each couple, and I'm like, okay, who's George and Mary? And I'm like, it's either the 4th or 5th story in, and I'm like, well, fuck berries. This isn't going to end good. And it doesn't. The guy dies. They never, ever find his body.
Oh, here they are, the honeymooners.
Yeah.
I guess it really does come down... Oh, Astor, that's a nice name. It really does come down to what a love story is.
I don't find tragic love stories very appealing, though. Everyone has to live happily ever after in my stories. Like, like the first little bit, at least one person survives, or both survive, or what other. I've gotten to a story where both people died because the woman, I can't remember her name, was like, no, if my husband's not coming with me, I'm not leaving. So they stayed on the ship. Her body was never found. They found her husband's body, and they don't know what happened to her.
It's interesting that they're able to write a story about two people that both died.
Well, because like they have people that have witnessed it, and I don't know. Like there's certain details where I'm like, they probably just added this in for dramaticness, but it's still really good. So far, I've only met one couple in there that's like, oh, we're both dead. Mostly women survive, so it was like,
Well, yeah.
well, yeah.
We needed that, apparently.
Yeah.
We don't need men to live.
And I'm not going to go into it because it's very infuriating for me, but it was very stupid how things went for the Titanic. That's all I'm going to say. If we're going to move on, I don't care what we talk about, just not that. That's it. So your mom's all excited for the Animal Crossing that has not been announced for a release date.
No, last year at E3 they showed some interesting footage of a 3D Animal Crossing, which we then saw a new video today of what looks to be a full trailer for it, which is New Leaf.
Yeah, you actually looks like you'll be the mayor, which is really exciting. Because in Animal Crossing, I always got bored because it's like everyone moves away at one point. Why do I have to befriend these people? And then at one point, I'm just like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm getting bored here.
Which, an odd game to 100%, my mom has every single one. That's a lie. I just flat out lied. She has 100% at every single one since the GameCube.
Since the game.
We did not play the Nintendo 64 Animal Crossing.
I didn't even know there was a Nintendo 64. Crossing. Not the system. I know it's just sitting right there.
For those
Shut
who
the hell
didn't
up.
look, I just looked around straight at the Nintendo 64 on our floor.
Okay, I didn't know there was a game for the N64, dumbass.
Yeah, I didn't either until one of my friends, Pork Chorp, told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's neat." But my mom and I got it on the GameCube when it came out, and then the DS version came, and then the Wii version, and I think every single time I've started playing it, and then I got bored, but it was still fun to play what I did. It's just it's the perfect game for her.
Yeah, she loves
has
that game.
she has all the time in the world to do everything. She can change the time in the game, which is fun to do.
Yeah.
Especially, it's necessary.
Well, I had the GameCube one, and I always had to change the time because you run out of things to do in, I would say, an hour. Not even. Like
Especially
30 minutes in, I'm done.
Especially when certain things come out at night,
Yeah.
in the morning, in the afternoon, and then during seasons. There are certain things you can only get at Halloween or on Christmas or New Year's.
Yep.
And to wait the whole time because I guess if you don't know how Animal Crossing works, is it the in-game time runs on the internal clock of your system.
So it's a 24-hour clock.
And it runs perfect second to second to our real life. So if you miss something during Christmas, which I can imagine completely, and I got a story about that. If you miss something, you'd have to wait until you realize I'm able to change the date and time on my clock on my GameCube.
Yeah.
And then the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Another go back in time. I don't remember why, but going back, I was always like, well, I fucked up.
How do you go back in time?
Because then I would reset it.
Oh, because you can set the year.
Yeah, I could set the year, so I would reset it back to, like, let's say I wanted December 25th of that year, and it was December 27th in my game. Well, go back 2 days. That's it.
I don't think my mom ever had any problems with that.
I always did that because I've been like, fuck, I missed something. And I think I tried it once, and I was like, I just fucked up. The system is like freaking out at me. They're yelling at me. Like that mole guy, I think, popped up. And was
Mr.
like, what
Rossetti,
the fuck?
that was the most meta thing.
That was the most.
Because I reset games every now and then. I don't really anymore because you can't really reset games now. Nintendo's the only one I can think of where they really had a reset button. And when you reset the game, I don't know how it knows.
I have
That's
no
some
idea.
insane programming. But Mr. Resetti Mole pops up telling you should not be resetting this game because you cannot reset life. And that is so true.
Yeah.
And you never expect it.
No.
And the more you do it, the angrier he gets.
The first time I did it, I never did it again because he yelled at me.
And I think in the DS version, his wife eventually appears in some way. I can't remember.
Really? I don't know. Because I got the Wii one that I think you gave me. And I couldn't play it all through. I'm done with Animal Crossing. Harvest Moon? I'm up for any Harvest Moons. Except for Tale of Two Towns.
They're similar but completely different games.
No, because you were telling me the story where your mom and you were like, well, we got Harvest Moon and Animal Crossing, and you guys preferred Animal Crossing.
So we took back Harvest Moon because Harvest Moon is really a game where you need to know what you're doing.
That is true. Like, there's things I didn't learn until later on in life when I had a computer and the internet. And I was like, shit, you can do that? And I just was like, Harvest Moon all the way.
So, the story I want to tell about Animal Crossing and how you need things on certain days.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember why. I think it was New Year's in Animal Crossing and in real life. And my mom had to go to bed. But she didn't get all these items she needed. And you need to collect certain colored candies for the event.
Oh, yep.
And so she wasn't able to do it all before she had to go to bed. And this wasn't before she started like jumping through time on the game, but it was very much she wanted to get it done right then and there so she didn't have to jump in time. And so she had to go to bed. Well, who's not going to bed? Me. So what do I get to do? Well, I get to then, not knowing really what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm just collecting these candies, talking to the people. Eventually, I'm just like to my dad, can I stop? I don't think I've done what I'm supposed to. At least not all of it. But can I please stop? I don't want to do this anymore. And he's just like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, thank you. And then I told my mom.
The blame would be on your dad.
But no, then it's like, Mom, I couldn't. It was getting so late. I wanted to go to bed. Like, just trying to do everything in that time limit is insane. I can't imagine the people that don't know.
That Nether found out.
That they can change the time on the clock. And if they didn't and they 100%ed that game, I commend you for the years you must have spent. Because there would be no other way. If you miss one fish, see you next year on it.
That's a great game, but like, holy shit. It takes a lot of patience. But you could say the same for Harvest Moon.
Yeah, you could. And I'm enjoying Harvest Moon now more.
Yes.
Now that I know how to play.
I have gotten him into it, ladies and gentlemen. Like, what was the first game I got you to play? The GameCube one?
We started playing that, but I technically played it before. Mm-hmm. And we didn't get very far. No. But I think the first one I really played was Tale of Two Towns.
Which I didn't enjoy.
No, I didn't even make it to fall.
No.
And then I played the first one on the DS.
I think that's Sunshine Islands or Island of Happiness.
And I told you all my qualms about it.
Yep. He hated it because he couldn't do the ranching part with the cows and stuff.
The animals is my favorite part.
He loves animals and doesn't really enjoy crops. I'm the same way, but I have more patience.
So while I'm watching this game that I'm really not enjoying for not just that reason, but the whole map system where I can't find anyone, the fact that I'm not able to make money, and it's like, oh, you just need to do this. Well, I need money for that. Well, go sell this. Like, I don't have that. I need money to do that. They were very bad on getting you money, and then everything was really high priced, coupled with the fact that I couldn't get the animals, which is my favorite part, double coupled with the way you move by moving around on the touch screen with the stylus. That is the worst control system. When I first got my DS and I played Super Mario 64 DS, as soon as I saw that control, I'm like, I'm never going to touch that. I tried it. I'm like, nope, not going to do that. So I immediately turned that off and never went back. And then it happened again in the Star Fox on the DS, and I'm like, this is awful. Why did they think that this was a good way to control things? I don't understand.
But now you've started a Harvest Moon, a new beginning.
Yes, and it is amazing. And I was watching you play it while I'm having a terrible time with this other one. And I'm just like, I wish so much that I'm playing that one that I couldn't stand it. I just quit.
You did.
And then you got it for me for Christmas, and I thank you so much. It is so much better. Everything you do in it, like I'm planting so many crops. I hated doing crops, and I'm doing more crops than
Crops
I
are
am.
much easier. I find animals harder.
I don't find animals harder. It's just
It takes
they made
a
it.
long time.
Well, you have so many animals.
I do. I have like 12.
Which is weird because I have a very different play style in it than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sell half of what I get.
I sell everything. If I don't need it in the moment, it's gone.
So whereas I have everything I need if it happens, I don't have as much money. So I might have to sell things or really wait on time.
Whereas I'm full with money. Like in my game, I think I have almost 600,000 gold.
And I'm nowhere near that.
Nope.
But at the same time, I don't have as many animals because I know that there are going to be a lot I'm going to have later on. And I don't want to overwhelm myself with having to take care of them and then I'll have time for anything. And technically, I've beaten the game. I had the credits.
Yeah, because you got married. I have a difficulty with that. Is because I'm so into, like, I have to marry the right person so that I can live happily and not torture myself. Because one time in one of the Harvest Moons, I don't remember which, I married somebody and I was like, well, they should be okay. I hated that person. I wanted a divorce. I wanted out of the relationship. And Harvest Moon doesn't really give you divorce too often. I actually just learned in the GameCube ones you could get divorced. So
That's weird because you have a child.
yep, you get a divorce and they leave you.
Are they still in the game? Like, can you still see your child?
I have no idea. I haven't played it. I just saw the divorce scene and I was like, what the hell? I've never heard of this.
Whereas in this game, there is no divorce. As soon as you're married, you're married. And I do not regret it because I'll probably never go and do another playthrough to get another wife.
Nope.
I haven't even met all the bachelorettes, but I took the first bachelorette. Her name was Iroha. She is a blacksmith in training, and she was great. Like the interactions with her were really cute, and her personality, which I think matches you quite a bit.
Aww.
It was great, and I'm like, yeah, I don't mind this. And then I ran into Tina. It's like, okay, she's kind of cute, but I mean, like, she's really outgoing and kind of weird. Not weird, but like.
Are you trying to say I'm not outgoing?
No, I'm not saying that, but I mean, like, her character was like, I was perfectly content with what I was doing already, so I just kept going on with it. And it's like, I'll probably never get married in another game, in another like Harvest Moon. So it's like I
No.
should just go straight ahead and do this and see what happens. And it's great. Like a lot of things change and a lot of things happen, and like that game is really good for constantly giving you
New things, yeah.
Especially since I'm only into my second year.
Well, the thing is that you've only gotten so far because I helped you.
True. Well, maybe not, because I already would have kept half the honeycomb.
That's true as well. But once again, if I hadn't told you to keep like the bees,
Yeah, I sell all insects.
like there's a mission, guys, just so you know, where you have to make I think it's 5 honeycombs, 5 honey hives or whatever. And you need these honeycomb things. You need like 5 of them each, and then you need a bee to go in the thing, and you have to make honey, and you have to sell the honey, and it's like, it's a long process. I'd never figured that out until I got in the mission, and I was like, oh, fuck. Because I was in summer, you can't find the things you need to make that.
Which now, I kept all those bees, so you know how many bees I have?
How many?
63.
There you go. You're good for life.
Yeah, I'm like, could I sell these? I don't think I'd ever need this many bees.
Thing is, after winter, they're gone.
Yeah, and then you have to
Refill
put
them.
in,
Yep.
which is, I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I mean, like, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's realistic. But yeah, like, the amount of things you can do on your farm is really great. The fact that you build up the town from scratch is pretty cool. The map is not so huge that it's like
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming.
You can travel in this one, which is different.
Which I haven't tried yet.
I traveled to this sunny island, and you can get coconuts and
Nice.
coral.
The one reason I haven't yet is because the one time when it made me skip a day, all my plants almost withered, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. So I don't know if I'll travel just in case.
That's the thing is, that's the kind of thing where you have to plan it out, like, for maybe a rainy day. It's like, oh, today's raining. I don't really have to do too much. Let's go to the beach.
That'd be cool. Do you actually go? Like, do you see the place? Or is it just say you went to the beach?
What do you mean?
Well, because in one of Iroha's scenes, you go to the next town over to meet her
Oh,
parents.
no. This, you actually go to a beach.
Oh, cool.
Like, you don't see yourself flying in the air or anything.
You're just there.
But you're just there, and
Okay.
the guy that's the pilot's like, okay, well, enjoy your time at the beach. We're leaving at 9. If you want to leave before that, come talk to me. And then you walk around the beach. There's a few people there. You pick up coconuts, coral, you do some fishing, and then you go home.
That's kind of... It'd be cool if you went to the other cities from the other Harvest Moon games.
I know there's other places you can get. I don't know what they are. I think you can go to other cities, but don't quote me on it.
That'd be cool, because you already get mail from them.
Yeah.
There are many times when I've had stuff from the Sunshine Islands and from Konoha from Tale of Two Towns.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting.
So, I see the time now. Is there any movies upcoming that you just quickly want to say you want to see?
I'm wanting to say Hansel and Gretel.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. It looks interesting.
Parker.
Yep, Jason Statham's pretty good.
Warm Bodies, of course.
Yep.
Beautiful Creatures.
Yeah, that one looks cool.
That one does look cool. The new Johnny Depp one, The Lone Ranger.
Yep.
And there's one other one I can't really think of.
Well, there's a couple we forgot, or you probably forgotten about. Despicable Me 2.
Oh, that's right. I haven't heard anything about it yet.
No, it's supposed to be coming out this year, and the only trailer I know of is still the one with the minions singing.
And then getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
That one's funny.
Also, Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh, yeah. That one looks good, too.
As far as I know, that's all I'm looking forward to. Obviously, I've probably forgotten some.
Yep. There's quite a few good movies, I think, coming out this year. Still just the beginning of the year, so we'll see how things go.
As well as games and books. I have 4 books I want to get
Yeah.
and read.
You're...
Which I probably won't mention much about because, I mean, like, they're very far into the series. It'd be weird to...
mention them.
Or at least them specifically.
Yeah. But those are your kind of books, so what other?
If anyone's wondering, my favorite author is James Patterson. I got into him through the Maximum Ride series, and then I branched off into his other ones, and they're really cool.
Coolios.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to wrap it up for the day. Just so you guys know, we're going to be doing this kind of podcast every weekend. So probably we'll be recording on Fridays, and I'll be posting it on Saturdays. So Saturday is probably going to be the usual day to look for this if you like it.
Yeah. And then our movies will be Tuesday, Wednesday. We have to record late sometimes, so
yes.
It might be the next day.
Warmal here has classes, right? Very
it's
late.
An insane schedule.
It's an insane schedule. Like some days he has like 12-hour days. So sometimes he doesn't come home at night till 8 to 8:30, depending on if he has other stuff to do. So on Tuesdays, I think, what time do you 4:30?
Yeah.
No. Yeah? So 4:30 for him. One problem is that the movies sometimes aren't even till later in the night. So that scared me. Something just fell and it scared the crap out of me. So we don't sometimes get out of the movie theater till 9 to 10, and then he has to go to school the next day for a 12-hour day. So if ours are sometimes the videos might be up on Tuesday night, sometimes Wednesday morning. So it depends on how it goes.
Yeah.
So that one's up in the air between the 2 days. This one will probably be every Saturday.
Okay.
So, that's about it, I think.
We'll also probably be doing some other things throughout the week, maybe.
Actually, you know what we
Nope,
forgot?
keep it a secret for now.
Okay, I
They
got
they
it.
can
No.
they can wonder.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Let me finish. I actually do have a secret. I was going to say it, but Warmal here's being himself and is like, nope, keep it a secret. So I'll keep it a secret, but I have something special coming up that actually we forgot at your house.
Yeah, so
So
we'll
we have to go
to.
back tomorrow. That we will be starting. Well, I'll be starting. Warmal will actually be doing something else.
Yep,
In
I'll
the
be having
future.
something.
He's thinking his wheels are turning. And actually I think I'll be starting sometime this week, depending. Maybe tomorrow, posting it on Monday, depends on how things go. So look out for that as well. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
So we'll have special little projects going on for you guys as well.
Sounds good.
Sounds awesome.
So we'll wrap it up now. We'll be leaving you guys with some nice little music. See you.
Bye, guys.